Subaru has lost their mind. Let me explain. Subaru has had one key model in their lineup that has been the pinnacle of everything they stand for, right? All-wheel drive goodness, sporty drives, and an enthusiast-minded vehicle. And that car has always been the WRX branded sedan based off of the Impreza and even a hatchback off of it, right? So you had the Impreza WRX, you had the WRX STI, and you had hatch variants of those as well. And overseas, I know you have wagon variants as well, but I'm going to specifically talk about the US market. And this is why I think Subaru really is missing their demographic when it comes to their current lineup. Let's talk about it. So for those who might not know, Subaru still offers a sportier variant of their Impreza sedan dubbed the WRX. Now it's kind of its own model as a spinoff, and you can only get it with one powertrain now as far as the engine, or let me just say you can only get it with one engine. Whereas you used to be able to get a WRX and then a WRX STI, which the STI of you would have guessed had a little bit more power, a little bit more in terms of performance goodies, etc. Now you have a WRX with like 4 or 5 different trim levels. And the top trim doesn't even give you a much more potent engine. We're still under 300 horsepower. And the top trim, which is their GT, has a CVT transmission. And it's $45,000. What? Yeah, $45,000. For a Boxer 4, it is a Boxer 4, right? Or is it a flat 4? I know there's a difference. Who cares? You get the idea, right? You have a Turbo 4 power plant on a car that doesn't even have an enthusiast-minded background. The main selling point of the WRX and WRX STI was a minimalistic sedan with all-wheel drive, rally heritage, a manual transmission, and a very fun powertrain. Now, the engine's probably stout, and yes, you can still get it with a manual and lower trims, but the fact of the matter is, if you're going to get a top trim Subaru sedan, namely a WRX or WRX STI, you would expect for 45 grand, you would definitely have a power bump. And honestly, a nicer interior. I mean, you get Recaros, heated seats, unfortunately paddle shifters for the CVT, and you get a huge tablet style screen, which looks like an aftermarket head unit from the early 2000s. But, you know, I just feel like they could have done so much better. And now their sales are slumping because the exterior design is kind of wonky. Interior design is very boring, not inviting. And on top of that, they don't offer a manual transmission on a top spec car, nor do they offer a higher powered engine option. So what do you think Subaru is trying to do here? Because their sales are tanking, and honestly, I feel like they're just missing the boat on what their demographic wants when it comes to this car. They spend a lot of time, you know, with Toyota on the BRZ and the, 86 coupe that they co-developed, but they could have put some energy into the WRX and WRX STI. I think an STI needs to come back, and needs to come back ASAP if they want to make a competitive car in that class. And I would probably want to keep it under 45 grand because that's pretty steep for what they're asking. Because for 45 grand, you can get into a V8 Mustang, not necessarily a loaded one, but a V8 Mustang, or you can go slightly used and get a really heck of a car, whether a Supra, Mustang, etc. Bargain or value proposition there doesn't really exist. Let me know what you guys think.